there, Love Tribe. Wow, what a surprise, right? Here I am. I am here on HeartBlend Podcast, your host, Lindsay Christian, and I focus on mindset and wellness for sensitive souls, or you may know as emotional care and empowerment. So, hello. I am so excited. I didn't expect to come so early, but it's the holidays, and I think I needed to come back because this year sucked. This year was rough, was it not? Well, it was for me. This year was a tough year, and I was feeling it. And I was like, man, if I'm feeling it, then I know my love tribe is feeling it too. So I wanted to come on, and I was like, you know what? Let's just do a good little holiday podcast. Let's dive in and talk about the 12 most awful things about the holidays. Okay, there are some things about the holidays that don't always feel so cheery or so merry or so magical. And know that we're not alone if we're not always feeling the holidays. And that's totally okay. And if you're feeling the holiday spirit right now, that's awesome. Send some my way. Okay, so what is the first awful thing about the holidays? Emotional stress overall. Whether you're standing in these long lines trying to find the perfect gift, or you're stressed out to see your family, or you have financial stress, or whatever it is, so many things contribute to us feeling that emotional burden during the holidays. And we're going to dive into all of those things in this episode. So I just want to do a quick check-in. How are you feeling right now during this holiday season? Some of us aren't feeling the best. Some of us are trying to put on a happy face. I completely understand and resonate with you. Okay, I know we're trying to be strong. We're trying to get through it, but it's hard sometimes, right? We go through a lot. We've been through a lot. The holidays are really supposed to just be time for gathering in a peaceful way. It's about time for rest and slowing down. It's about time for going within in our inner winter. But we're not doing that, right? We don't usually do that. We just keep going as if we're totally okay. And we have to have that time to rest. So wherever you can find space during this chaotic time, find it, take it, reclaim it, own your peace, because it is crucial right now. The second awful thing about the holidays, layoffs. And it's just not the right time. It just adds such a layer of stress for the person that got laid off. You know, it's not really a good time any time of year, but it's like during the holidays, that's when you see more people and see more family. And of course, they always ask you, how's work going? Do you lie and say, oh, it's good? Or do you say, well, I just kind of lost my job? Layoffs suck. Okay. And they're very common, especially during the holidays. So what can you do? Okay. Keep your faith. I know. We don't want to hear that right now. But keep your faith. You are so powerful. If you're capable of having that job before, you're capable of having a new job come in. A job that is more stable. A job that wants to have you. A job that values you. And let's be honest. We know that, oh, maybe the business didn't do well. But when companies lay you off, you can't help but to feel like, was I not that valuable? Was I not that good in order to keep my job? Don't go down that hole. Remember that you are fully capable. You are powerful, and you will be able to generate more income and have a better job come for you. Or maybe you can use this opportunity to start your own business if that's something that you've been wanting to do. Trust and have faith that you will be taken care of. Okay? The third awful thing about the holidays are split families. Now, for those that have their family that's all together, that's awesome, okay? But for some of us that have split families, maybe our parents are divorced and we've got to go from house to house, whether it's on the parent that's having to see their child less or children less, and it can just be so stressful and chaotic, right? If that's something that you're going through, know that you can only do as much as you can, and don't take on too much of feeling that pressure or guilt as though you're disappointing or letting someone down. The fourth awful thing about the holidays are family gatherings. Okay, not for everybody. Like, some of us don't have bad families, but it can be really stressful during family gatherings, especially if you have a dysfunctional family. And maybe you've worked really hard on yourself all year, and it just takes that one family member to just trigger a whole spiral, right? Or maybe there's some past trauma experience with family members that you haven't resolved. And sometimes it can feel traumatizing to even have those memories come back to us. Again, I'm not saying family gatherings are bad. They could be beautiful. They could be wonderful to spend time with family and those you love. But for some, it can feel really stressful at this time. Remember, you don't have to do anything you don't want to, okay? And it's okay to stand up for yourself during this time. I know we hear that, and it's really hard to implement sometimes, especially when we have these relationships with people and we're trying to just keep the peace and keep things light. But why is that? Like, why can't everyone just be chill? Why be extra? Just relax. We all know it's stressful. Just be kind and be calm, right? And at the very least, know that maybe it's just for a few hours, and to keep your mind as sane and at peace as possible. The next awful thing about the holidays are unhealthy habits. Let's be honest. We're going to be eating more sugar. We're going to probably be drinking more alcohol. And we're probably not going to be exercising as much. I mean, with all the social gatherings that we're going to, holiday parties, or maybe it's too cold outside for us to really enjoy a good workout, or we just want to stay in bed and hibernate as much as possible. It's very common for these unhealthy habits to creep in over the holidays. And usually we feel that rush, we feel that motivation when January 1st hits and we're like, it's a new year, new me, I'm going to do better. But we can try our best to balance it out with some healthy meals, drink plenty of water, still get your rest, of course, and try your best to get a little exercise, even if it's just throwing on a workout video on YouTube and working out with the fitness trainer. Do whatever you can in your power to support yourself and to take the best care of your health during this time. This is a time where we often get sick too. So boost that immune system. I know it can feel challenging right now, but know that you have all the power to do it. The next awful thing about the holidays is financial stress. Maybe we were laid off. Maybe money is tight. And let's be honest, if you participate in a gift-giving holiday, it takes money to buy those gifts. Even if you make the gifts, it takes money to buy the materials, or it takes extra time or energy that you really don't have. So if you're experiencing financial stress or financial burden, remember, you are still going to be loved, whether you give a gift or not. Just keep it real. You don't want to put yourself into further debt over some gifts that they may or may not like or even use, right? And so just try your best to take that pressure off. I know we all feel it, especially when they give us a gift. Like, why did you give me a gift? I am really not in a position right now, okay? We've all been there. It's okay. All right, let's move on to the next awful thing about the holidays, which is going to be seasonal depression. It's very common, especially during the winter time. If you live in the northern hemisphere and you experience colder months and darker days, then you can be more prone to experiencing seasonal depression. We get our vitamin D from the sun, which boosts our mood. It helps to replenish our serotonin and our dopamine, and we tend to feel more calm, upbeat, and happier. But during the colder months, or when the sky is dreary and gray and the sun is just not as bright, we can endure seasonal depression. So, what are some things you can do? Make sure that you're getting enough vitamin D. Okay, of course, speak with your physician about the right vitamins to take because they can have side effects if we have the wrong ones. But making sure that you're getting enough vitamin D either from your foods or from a vitamin supplement. Also, making sure that you are getting enough light. Even if it is a little dreary or dark outside, open up the windows, go outside as much as you can, okay? I know it might be cold, we don't want to get out of the house, but if you can just get a few moments of sunlight when you wake up, that can be so helpful for helping with that vitamin D, okay? The other thing is trying your best to bring in brighter colors, even if you just wear a brighter color. When we experience seasonal depression, a lot of times color truly does affect our mood. So we may be gravitating towards colors of gray or black or just darker hues that can reduce and lower our mood. But bright, vibrant colors truly do have a positive effect on us. So bring in some happy color, okay? The next thing you could do to combat seasonal depression is to know that this is very common for a lot of people. And to not take on so much judgment or, I go through this every year, what's wrong with me? It's so easy to do that. So easy to do that. So let's get control over our minds and shift that focus. Whether it's for a project, or whether it's a new book, or a new hobby, or an old hobby, we want to try to pull back as much as we can and focus on something that's going to bring us joy. On top of seasonal depression, the other thing that can be really hard for us to get through is isolation and the feeling of loneliness during the holidays. It's easier for us to put on a mask throughout the year when we feel lonely or isolated, or maybe we're around our friends, right, during the year and we feel fine. But when people are spending time with their families and maybe we can't get to our family or our family has changed or we don't have a family of our own, we can really feel that isolation and loneliness so much stronger during the holidays. If you are feeling isolated, if you are feeling lonely, connect, right? Loneliness is such a painful wound emotionally to the human spirit. Start your own group, right? Join a community. Don't isolate yourself. Don't hide yourself. A lot of times we tend to isolate ourselves even more when we feel lonely. Maybe we're fearful of feeling judged or not being accepted, so we don't even try because that can make it feel even stronger. But it's so important for us to just be open and know that you are always welcome and a part of this love tribe. We are a community of almost 8,000 people right now. Even if you feel alone and isolated, you're a part of something bigger. The next awful thing about the holidays is high expectations. So we can have high expectations in a multitude of ways. Rather, it is high expectations for gifts, if we practice a gift-giving holiday. High expectations for our house to look a certain way if we're having people over. High expectations on ourselves to get through the year and to try to finish off strong, on top of doing all the other things we're doing and trying to be present for the holidays. Okay, it can be really challenging and we can feel a lot of that heavy pressure. So let's take a deep breath in if we've been feeling some of those high expectations. Just a deep breath in. And let's just let it go. The next awful thing about the holidays is grieving a lost one. This one is tough. It's really tough, especially if we've lost someone this year. If we've lost someone in the past around a holiday, it can feel really, really hard to get through this. And we just want to press fast forward so much during this time. But what I've realized a lot of times is when we have someone that's near and dear to our heart, know that we can still keep them alive in spirit by acknowledging them. Maybe place their picture at the table when you're having dinner. Pray. Speak to them. Their energy is still here, still with you, watching over you. Even if you can't feel it, can't see it, don't abandon them. Don't shut them off in a box as if they never existed because it's too painful. I know we're all in different phases of our grief and feeling pain, but when you're ready. All right, we're almost through this list of 12 awful things. The next awful thing about the holidays is burnout. Okay, you guys have heard me talk about burnout before. It wears down your body. It wears down your mind, your emotions. And even when you have the mental energy to do something, physically, your body just won't let you when you're burned out. You can only push but so much. We are organic beings. And every time we put energy out, we have to be mindful to replenish the energy back in, to recharge, to heal, to rest. That's how we're designed. We're not robots. We are not AI, okay? We can use AI as a tool, but we're humans. And so if you experience burnout, let me know. Am I the only one that experienced burnout this year? Because it was really bad. If you experienced burnout this year, leave a comment below so I know that I'm not by myself. And the last awful thing about the holidays is the annual feeling of failure. We set all these goals at the beginning of the year, and we didn't get a chance to meet those goals that we set for ourselves. And so we can feel by the end of the year, man, I didn't accomplish anything. And in that, we start to lose faith in ourselves. And it almost becomes a repeated pattern because we say, I never accomplish my goals. I go through this every year. And so for that, I say, it's okay. It is all right. Remember that comforting phrase we love, it's okay. Everything that you've done up until this point, whether you realize it or not, is helping you towards your goals. You may have learned something that you didn't realize before. Maybe you learned how not to do something, or maybe you're that much closer to learning the right things to do to make your goals that much more successful. Just know that you don't have to wait until January 1st once again to start your goals. The power of now is the only power we have. Make your goals personal to you. Sometimes we don't do that. We make goals that fit for someone else that's not us. Or we focus on goals that just sound nice. Maybe we really don't want to lose the weight. Maybe we really don't want to start that business. Maybe we are really comfortable where we are and the future scares us. A lot of times we look at the fact that we didn't achieve our goals, but we don't acknowledge all the stress we were under, the lack of support, the lack of resources, lack of motivation or time, our health. Sometimes we don't even realize that our body is not even at its optimal phase. We could just be in this state of survival, and it makes it really hard to accomplish any goal when we're in a state of survival. So, look at the bigger picture and remember that you're completely capable of changing your habits, of changing your mindset, and getting closer to that goal every single day. Okay, so that is my list of the 12 awful things about the holidays. It's a pretty long list, and this was not to be the Debbie Downer of the holidays, to bring us down, da da da. This episode was really meant for us to empathize with each other, to say, thank God, it's okay. Other people are going through this too. It's a challenging time right now. Now, as my gift to you, I would love to create a 12 days of meditation for each of these awful things so we can start to heal our minds, feel at ease, and feel calmer about the very thing that's stressing us. I do hope that you are having a good holiday season, that you're living your best life, and that ultimately you are ready for the new year to come in. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm happy to be back, and I can't wait to talk about more topics coming up, and I'm here to fully support you. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is HeartBlend Podcast.